What's up, man?
Yo, back at it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Episode 3.
We got the stewardess.
Let's go. Two episodes in.
Yes, sir.
It's going smooth. People are responding.
Man.
They're liking it. We definitely appreciate it. Keep the love coming. And we're going to keep trying to do this as long as we can. Keep trying to provide as much information as possible and see where it goes.
Keep dishing dimes.
Dishing dimes.
Don't let that dime drop.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Because those friends have friends. And so on.
Yeah.
And so on.
Before you know it, we got a bunch of friends just listening.
Hey, I need more friends.
I don't need more friends, but I would love for them to listen.
All right. I'll be your friend.
I like that. All right, so where do we want to start today?
So recently there was a video out. I think we should start here because I know you mentioned it off mic.
Let's address it.
And you know, we did go to a big hoops tournament here in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And the video that went viral about, I don't even know what grade it was, but
I don't even. The kids were young. They were young.
They were young. The game obviously, I don't think mattered.
No, not one bit.
I don't think it was a championship game.
I want to say, to be honest, I'll go back. I'm not even gonna go back and watch it, but I want to say like they had on like pennies or something in the background, which I don't know if that's true, but
so the video.
Either way, the game didn't matter.
Right. So the video of the youth basketball coach.
Assuming we're gonna assume that it's a coach.
Yeah. Most likely, probably a parent. But again, we're going to assume it's a coach attacking or choking out the referee.
Physically putting his hands on
around
the
neck. Obviously the ref in self-defense put his hands around the guy's neck.
Yes.
But let's address that because I know you have a lot to say.
I do.
I have a lot of questions that I want you to answer.
Listen, where are we? Where are we in basketball that this is even a thing?
Right.
Why does it get to a point where a coach, assuming that it's a coach, is physically putting his hands on the referee at a basketball game?
We're going to say a middle school basketball game.
Middle school, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why? What was, I want to know, what was the call that made that happen?
Right. So you're watching the video, right? The first time you see it. Obviously I think that was the first what's going on here?
Yeah.
Probably what was the call?
Yeah.
But here's the other thing I'm going to ask you is leading up to that point of him getting after the ref, what do you think in your mind? What do you think the circumstances were?
I can't even imagine what the circumstances would be in order for it to be taken to that level.
To that level. Not even just getting attacked.
Not even
just getting kicked out of the game.
Not even. I mean, even before he started choking him, the proximity of the two of them were very close. And I don't even think it should have gotten that far. Right? So here's my thing.
Let's hear it. Spill it. That's why we're here.
We have to do better. There's no other way around it. We have to do better. So not only is this taking place at the youth basketball game, but let me backtrack. All right. So here's what I saw. I come across the video. I see it the first time. And I watch it and I'm just kind of like, that's disgusting. I'd rather not watch it.
Right.
I see it retweeted. I see it, posted multiple times in other different places. And I'm like, all right, this is a real problem. So then I started analyzing a little bit. I dove into the comments, and unfortunately, what even bothered me even further was the jokes inside of the comments, right? I get it. The internet's a fun place to be. Sometimes jokes can be jokes. We can jokey, have fun, whatever. But this is not even a situation that becomes comedy.
For real. Yeah.
We have kids watching this. All right. So that was the first thing. I took the scene in. I'm watching this. I'm watching the two of them choke each other. I'm watching the other ref come in and, try to help. I'm going to say his partner at that point. The parents, I won't say parents, but whoever else is around there are trying to pull them off. And there's a couple things else that kind of disturb me about it. One, the kids are watching, and their mannerism showed me that, this is something I've seen before. Not a big deal. That's what I got from the mannerism of these kids.
Wow.
There was no fear from the kids. Right. There was no movement. They're literally standing and watching.
Not even shocked.
Wow.
That says, that right there, that says a lot.
So in my head, I'm asking, is this something that's like, it goes on so often that the kids are unfazed by it?
Mm-hmm.
That is unacceptable. That's disturbing to me.
For sure. As a parent, for you.
As a parent, as a trainer, as a coach, it's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like seeing it. I didn't like the comments that went along with it. I hated every part about it. Right? Now, also in the video, I'm going to say a kid that was on his phone very, very close to what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Also unfazed by it, it would seem. But again, all of this is taking place with no regards of who is there.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable.
And even think about who's watching the games, right? So you have probably other young athletes, young kids watching this go on.
Correct.
And what example or what are you showcasing that this makes it okay?
We're showing them that it's okay.
Right.
That's what we're showing them.
Yeah. And I just, what do you get? One, what do you get out of it? For I understand, your emotions will get the best of you. Sometimes you can use that as an excuse. In this situation, probably not. But what are you gaining out of putting this coach putting your hands on this ref? Are you going to change the call?
No.
Are you going to change the outcome of the game?
No.
Are you teaching the kids how to be sportsmanship?
None of the above.
So my question to you is, how can we, as players, adults, trainers, coaches, how can we do better? Or what do we need to kind of take a step back within the game?
We can't expect our kids to handle situations that arise, whether it's in the game, whether it's on the bench, whether it's in the stands, whether it's in the classroom. We can't expect them to handle those situations that may go awry if this is what we're doing in front of them.
Right.
We can't even, if I'm a player or I'm a parent of a player on that team, there's no question about it, I'm gone.
For sure.
I'm
not
gone.
coming back.
There's no. I don't even need to be around that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And going back to your first point, the kids were unfazed by it. So there's probably not to this extent, and maybe, but this extent got caught on video.
100%.
So if this happened more than once, why are we still around?
Right. Yeah. I wish I had more answers. I guess. And the sad part is that to a certain extent, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me because we just sat here 2 episodes ago, and I explained how I get anxiety watching some of these games.
Oh, yeah.
Because of what goes on the sideline. Not even 2 weeks ago did I sit here and say that.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And I'm having the flashes of me and you sitting baseline, and we are literally watching a parent of a 5th grade girls travel team going around with his iPhone, literally running baseline to baseline. There was a foul call. He would be at least 4 feet on the court, shoving the phone in, which would probably be maybe his kid or, his kid's teammate, mm-hmm. shoving the phone in the face and just screaming, yelling. I understand you're excited, but it's stuff like that. Like, what are you showcasing? What are you teaching?
Absolutely. And the worst part of it all, 2 episodes ago, we also said these games don't matter.
They don't matter. It was funny. We just ended a training session, and we had a parent in there. And we were talking to them. And we understand that as kids, you want to play, you want to compete, you want to build that competitive nature. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: the player said, "Oh, hey, they got really cool sweatshirts." And guess what? What I said? Hey, how long is that sweatshirt gonna fit you? And then you came back and you said,
you're going to take it to you to college?
You're going to pack that with you when you go to college? But that's the thing. Going back to your point, these games do not matter.
Not one
Rankings in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, they do not matter. Even freshmen. I've seen sophomores ranked in the top 10 that don't pan out because the ranking gets to their head. Yeah. And that means, hey, whatever I'm doing is good. And that whatever could just be natural ability. So they're not actually putting in the hours. So that's where they're going to start to plateau.
100%.
And so after our game that we watched, you and I were talking, the antics shown by the parents on the sideline, that's going to reflect the kids. Mm-hmm. So the kids feel like it's okay to act crazy, to get up in their face, to get up into other team, other players' faces, to basically not show sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And be kind of, I don't want to use the word, but they're showcasing not how to be a true athlete, how to truly be a sportsmanship athlete like they should. And we followed a girl, and after they lost, she sat there taking off of her shoes. She put on her warm-up, and as soon as she came over, it was like she went on the other side of the mountain.
100%.
She saw rainbows. She saw sunshine.
Smiles galore.
And and remind you, they just lost. But I was watching her the whole time. So she's unlacing her shoes. She's putting on her warm-up. In her mind, you can kind of just see the gears rolling like, all right, yeah, I'm a little frustrated. We just lost. I should have did this. Maybe I should have did this. And she's just in her zone.
Yeah.
And again, once she stood up and she passed the whole court, that went out the window.
Yep. It was like a switch.
It was a switch.
Yep.
And you know what?
Just that quick.
And you know what's crazy? Talking to her parent, who we talk to all the time. We love. They train with us. They have no idea the game of basketball. They will say that. You know,
Yeah.
and even
Yeah.
if they did, they don't put any stress. They literally say every time, we want you to have fun. If you're not having fun, don't play.
Yep. And you know the beautiful thing about all of that? Probably one of the best kids on that court that day.
Exactly. The best, and she literally the best player on the court.
Yeah.
From the other team parents saying it. We were talking to the girl after, and one of the players said, "Hey, why don't you move to Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia? We live in New Jersey. Hey, if you want to relocate, come to Atlanta. We got a spot for you."
Exactly.
So there's something that message alone that hit me. I know it hit you.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that if you really, really have joy and you find the fun within even losing, or not even losing, but just understanding, hey, this is a game. It doesn't really matter. And guess what? I'm going to have another game, you know, either in 2 hours or tomorrow. But guess what? I'm always going to have another.
Yep. Yeah.
That makes you the overall around, like, just the best player that you could possibly be. And other people see that.
Yep. It shows. So, you know, if other people can see that positive, that shining light that's coming, you know, off the court, all of the other stuff they can see too.
Yep.
All of the other stuff they can see too. And we, again, have to do a better job of we have to do a better job of just setting good examples for these kids.
Right.
We can't, listen, I'm all for having fun in the game, right? I'm all for dunking on somebody and celebrating.
For sure.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for trash talking.
I'm all for trash talking.
I won't start it, but I know
I love it.
I'm going to get someone's going to trash talk me, and I feed off of that.
Yes.
So guess what? Instead of talking back, I'm going to let my game do it. And then once my game's doing it, I'm going to remind you, hey, you started this, so I'm going to start talking back to you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not starting it. I'm finishing it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And I'm not doing it in a cocky, rude manner and nasty manner.
Yeah. Listen, that's all good. It's all fun.
That's because that's part of the game.
That's part of the game.
Right? Yeah. The game within the game.
We have to understand that. That's part of the game. But then there's lines that are crossed, and that's the part where things go haywire. And that's what we have to stop. We have to stop. And it starts with us on the sidelines as we are watching the games.
Yes.
We have to understand, listen, especially for these games that don't matter. I understand the refs are going to make bad calls. They're going to make them. I haven't met a ref that hasn't made a bad call.
Have you ever met a ref that the coach changes the ref's call?
Never.
So why? Why are
Never.
we
right? So I get, you know, sometimes you got to fire your team as a coach, and you know, you want to go the extra mile, maybe get a tech, you know, show them that there's passion involved in it, whatever. But we got to draw the line somewhere where we are not setting a bad example for our kids. As coaches, as parents, as trainers, we have to do better.
Yes. Because what do we tell our parents and our kids? They're sponges, right? They absorb much.
All of it. They take it all in.
So if we're acting like that, they're gonna get the green light to act like that.
100%.
Because guess what? I'm not gonna get yelled at because you're doing it. You know?
Yep. Listen, we just got to do better. We, one person at a time, can make a change as long as it's for the better. But it's going to take one person at a time. And if we can commit to that, then we can make a change. Otherwise, it's going to be out of control. Out of control. Just last year, I don't know how many fights we've seen in the games. Bench clearing fights.
Yep.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much for the game that we all claim that we love. There's no place for it.
No place. And that's the thing, like, I always lived by, you can talk about it, or you could be about it, right? So I understand that you're trying to stay loyal maybe to your teammates, to your friends. You know, you're trying to get their back. But do it by being about it. Show them that, hey, I put in this time, or hey, you just kind of put the log on the fire. You just fueled my fire. Now I'm going to go at you. I'm going to attack you. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to beat you with my game. And guess what? During that, I'm going to give you a little sidebar, side comments, and I'm going to let you know about it. Because now I'm not only owning you on the court, I'm renting space in your head.
Yeah.
I'm living there.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that's the mentality. That's the things that we have to start teaching. It's okay to have some self-defense. It's okay to, get your own back.
Right. It doesn't make you weak.
It does not make you weak.
Doesn't make you weak.
But you have to find what clicks within that. You have to find the motivation in that. You can't always just, the answer is just, I'm going to fight this guy. I'm going to put my hands on this guy. You know?
It's not, it doesn't help anything.
Does not help anything. Exactly. So when you really unpack it, if that coach is watching this and you unpack it, what are you gaining out of it? Is there any positive things that you gain out of choking out this ref?
None.
You can't unpack anything, right? You can only unpack the cons. Yeah. So rewinding, why do that?
I don't know. So we are going to go on our platform, right? It's just starting. I understand that. But if it's just starting, we're going to start here, and we are going to make a plea to parents, to refs, to coaches, to trainers. Let's set a better example.
Yes.
That's it. That's our plea to you.
No matter how heated, the moment is, the game, you always have to have that little voice in your head that says, hey, there's circumstances with whatever I'm about to do next. Say, my actions. Does this, me doing A, unpack quality things? And if you get more cons, then don't do it.
That's it.
It's just
That's
like when I was little. Think before you speak type thing. And hopefully that's still around.
Yeah.
So you're not just saying whatever you want just to say it. Really think about what you're going to do. Think about what you're going to say.
Yeah. Man, I hate that we had to start the pod that way, but... Hey. Listen, it had to be said.
You had some fire on your chest that you had to let go.
I've been holding on to that.
Let it out. Now you're like a free butterfly. You can fly again.
I'm a fly.
Woo! I can fly.
So, all right, moving on. Here we go. I wanted to ask you.
I wanted to tell you.
One of the things that I think we do very well is I see you, I see myself, and I see the connection that comes with that to the kids. How did you get here? What led you to this point that now you are training youth and trying to get them better?
So I think part of it is a lot of people want to know. They want to get where maybe we are, but they don't want to learn how we got here, right? They don't want to know our struggles. They don't want to know the a lot more downs than there were ups. And honestly, it's from my competitive nature as just being a child that I always wanted to be the best I could, being the shortest. Not being the most athletic, not being the fastest, I always wanted to make sure I was ready to catch someone's eye, right? So if I could catch someone's eye, they can start talking. And I really just wanted to be known because as a little guy, you're always looked over. You're always looked past, right? Because they always look at the tallest, the most athletic. So what drove me was I know if I keep working at the time was, you know, on basketball and individual, I could get to this point. Working hard isn't hard, you know? And I think a lot of people, they always are looking forward. Let me rephrase that. They always look, hey, I want to be in your position, but I don't want to go through what you went through.
They want to skip stages.
For sure. And, you know, that's a lot of stages to skip.
Mm-hmm.
But you need, going back to our first podcast, you need to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you can't be afraid of that.
Yeah.
So me being in the situation that I'm in now, after playing, I needed to find a new outlet, right? So that drove me. I've always wanted to be in the NBA. That didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
Now I always knew I wanted a basketball court in my house, because I would sneak into my high school. I would leave wood chips in my middle school. I would literally leave high school, go down to the middle school, because we always got an hour early than the middle school. And I would go into the gym, and I would sneak a wood chip in the back door where no one would find it. And so when school was out, the janitors left, that door's always open. There's no security. There's no cameras at this old school. But that's how I got to work out.
Yeah.
So I was driven to that, and this was my outlet. So me moving here 4 years ago from Michigan, I knew I had the passion, and I knew I had the work ethic. I just didn't have the guidance on how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So reaching out to people, you know, maybe we'll try it, you know? And I think it was a good thing that all the negative stuff that happened in my journey in this 4 years happened because I wouldn't have done it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So now the people that maybe looked off and was like, there's no market in that, or game, they need to play more, they don't need to train, or there's a lot of trainers in New Jersey, I don't know if you can handle it, you know, your training's gimmicky, you know, those things. That really hit home for me, because those are all the things I was told when I played.
Yeah.
You can never be on varsity as a sophomore. You can never start. You can never play in college. So if you tell me I can't do something, that motivates me.
Yeah.
That puts the fuel on the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I have what I have now, and it's because of all the doubters. And I don't think I would be here if they weren't doubting me. And I don't like to just coast on people. I like to do it. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it how I want to do it, because that's just how I grew up.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed that, like, we met through my journey here, because you have the side that I don't have. And I love talking to you every day, because now I'm getting a lot smarter, because I can sit down and I can talk to you and I can pick your brain. And I wouldn't have that if I didn't have, you know, let's call it the haters or the doubters.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that goes both ways. Obviously we can sit here today and we can say that, as you said, you learned from me, and I do the same. I'm coming in every day and I'm learning from you, and I'm watching you do what you do, and that only makes me better, right? So I think for us, that's what makes this Hoop Lad journey work well, because we feed off of each other. Mm-hmm. But I think, you hit it hit the nail on the head when you said that there was a lot of the doubt was what made you, or what drove you.
For sure.
And I think for me, it was somewhat similar. Just coming up as a kid, I had that similar, NBA dream, if you want to call it that. And then all of a sudden you get to a point where you understand, like, okay, that might not be reality.
Yeah.
So but the love and the passion that you have for the game, you stay around it. You know, for me, I started out coaching. You know, so it was just like, okay, so this is my way of kind of staying around the game. You know,
and I think that's everybody's first stage. Right.
So that's kind of where I started, and I never wanted to do it, especially with my own kids. Like, I always was that dad that was like, you know, I don't want to coach my kids. I don't want to be that dad. The problem became that, you know, knowing as much as I did with basketball, I was struggling watching others try to show not only my kids, but other kids how to do it. Right? Knowing as much as I know, I felt like I was doing a disservice to the kids by not helping them. Right? And I think that was the initial draw. It was like, man, I have something to offer, so why not offer it to them? And unfortunately for me, I guess depending on how you look at it, it was just that my kids were involved in it as well. So I think for me, that's how I started, just as that coach. But I was trying to solve a problem. And the problem that I was trying to solve was I watched specifically the tall kids in elementary school be the centers. They got stuck down in the low post. And at the time, I was watching rec basketball and I was watching high school basketball. The local team where I was pretty good, so I'd take the kids, I'd take the family over to watch the games. And after a while, you start to see some of the same kids, right? So you see some of the kids that were in rec, and then you see them in high school. And there was one thing that I noticed between all of them. The tall kid wasn't the tall kid anymore. But the problem was nobody took the time to show them anything other than that. Right? So here you have a center, the tallest kid in elementary school and middle school, who gets to high school, and now they're no longer the tallest kid. And now they're stuck.
And what do you do with them? And that kid feels almost like abandoned.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Because now they don't have the skills to be in any other position. Right?
And they were never put in another position.
Right.
And then the coach never said, hey, you know, we're down by 20 or we're up by 20. Try taking the ball up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's, you know, I love my father. I talk about my father almost every podcast, but that's how much I have love for him. And, you know, going back to what you were saying, you never wanted to coach your kids. Me growing up and my dad, you know, we were always around politics within sports, right? My dad always tells the story that he went to his high school. He was the best basketball player in the school, and he got cut. So during a skills competition that they had, he made it a point to show the coach, I'm better than everybody, and he ended up winning it. But that right there, that just shows you the determination, the passion, you know, and just showing the doubters of it. Like, I love that story that he tells me all the time. But coaching me and my brother, you know, we can think about Rocket football when we were youth. He always knew every coach.
Wait, hold on. Not to interrupt your story, but you gotta break down Rocket football. What is it? What is that?
So I forget, you guys from New Jersey don't know that, but this
Rocket
is
football. So
New Jersey has flag football for the youth.
Okay, all right.
They just throw us with pads. I started playing football, tackle football at age 7.
Okay, all right.
So that's what we call Rocket football. So it was
so we have ours would be like Pop Warner.
Yeah, we don't call it that. No. Those too many words, man. They're just like, who's Warner? No, but so every Pop Warner coach always put their kid at the best position, no matter how bad they could have been in that position: quarterback, running back. Right? Those are pretty much the two. My dad made it a point to show every parent, and it wasn't even every parent; it was every player, I'm going to give every opportunity. I'm going to give every kid every opportunity they can to be quarterback. And then I want my assistant coach and I want you players to choose the quarterback. So my dad being the head coach put everybody, even the kids that were not going to be quarterback, like that should have been on the offensive line, everybody got to try. Mm-hmm. So when it came down to it, everyone chose me. And now my dad going to the huddle saying, okay, just so we're clear, you guys chose Zach as the quarterback. Are we all in agreement? Everyone went around and said yes. Okay, you guys made the choice. I just want you to know that. So that right there, that message, and me just looking back now as I'm older, you have to let as coaches try. You have to let the kids do and try, because once they can try, you can see the trial and error. They can see from themselves, hey, maybe I do want to play this, but I'm not good at it yet. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna work at it.
Yeah.
And that right there, I mean, that's gonna give the kids motivation to go and try to do and find new avenues to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I love that story. That's probably one of my favorite, messages growing up. And
no, there was along those same lines. I posted something today.
Where'd you post that?
I posted it on Twitter.
What's your Twitter?
Who is TakeFlight?
There we go. Follow my man.
Go follow. All right, hit that follow button. So I posted something today because I was watching one of our kids. All right, one of the kids that has been coming in twice a week for 8 months.
Twice a week for 8 months.
Right.
How many hours is that?
Each session is an hour.
Okay.
All right. So think about how many hours that she's come in. Okay. I was going through some old videos. I found a clip of when she first came in. And
I love these stories.
I get so excited and so proud, like just seeing the transition.
Yeah.
Right. So I saw where she was, and then I see where she is currently, and the transition, the transformation, it's almost like art.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can see, like, it doesn't take me as a skills trainer to see the difference.
Yeah.
You can see it from day one to day now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mention this because she's a taller middle school kid. But I know that she gets looked over. She gets looked over.
Does she get looked over, or is she always put in, just like in the position to like, I'm not even going to look at you because you're already this? Is that what you mean?
I think there's some of that, right? So I think there's some of that.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part is like, there's certain things like, I don't know. I think to a certain extent we all do it, right? We look at somebody and say, "Oh, they're not athletic.
They're not." Automatically assume.
You just automatically assume,
right?
Right. So when you see how tall this person is, and you put them in the post, and you expect them to be Shaq down in the post, you just kind of like, I don't want to say abandon them or let them go, but you don't give them any attention. And really what they just need is the attention.
Some guidance
and attention.
Yeah.
So I posted this this tweet, and the words just, I think it spoke to us just based on what we're talking about right now. And I think everybody should hear it. And basically I said, it was a quote that I found, but it fit perfectly. And it said, "A garden requires patient labor and attention. Plants do not grow merely to satisfy ambitions or to fulfill good intentions. They thrive because someone expended the effort on them."
Wow, that's deep.
And I think that fits every kid that may fit in the position of, hey, I'm not good enough right now. But if somebody gives me the attention and if somebody puts forth the effort of helping me, I can be good later.
Yeah.
Allow me the opportunity to be good later.
That's deep, man. I love that. And that's the thing, too, because you never know what that player, that kid, even has to offer.
No.
You don't know what their work ethic's like. You don't know the discipline. You don't know how much attention to detail they'll take in.
Yeah.
And it might not even show in the first couple sessions.
Not at all.
You know, and I'm not saying that was her, but
it might not show, period.
It might not show it, but at least you are giving the attention.
Right.
You are trying.
Right.
You're making an effort.
You know, when we went to Michigan, Micah said something that, Micah Lancaster, he said something that really, I guess it stuck with me. And he said that something along the lines as, just understand that as youth coaches, many are choosing the position for your child.
Oh.
They're telling your child what position they should be.
Yeah.
At, let's say, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years old.
Yeah.
You're being given a position that you should be without the opportunity to experience or learn how to do anything other than the position that they thought that you should be.
Imagine when you had your kids, right? And the doctor was like, going to be a bus driver, going to be the next, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
But that's the label,
Yeah.
right? So you can't just label it, right?
No.
Because now if you label that and that's all they have to look forward to, they're never going to look outside the box.
Yeah.
They're never going to expand their horizon.
Yep.
I love that quote.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think, just to tie everything in, and I often get stuck between parent and trainer, right? And I say this all the time because a lot of times I'll talk to other parents with, as I said many times before, my dad hat or my parent hat on. But because they know that I'm a trainer, it always sounds as if it's coming from a trainer's voice, right? And I always tell them, skill training allows your kids to just learn about themselves.
Yeah.
And if you give them the opportunity to learn about themselves, they get to choose who they want to be. Not dictated by someone else.
Right. Yeah, and it goes back to, I recently listened to a Kobe podcast, and he mentioned in that podcast he was 13 years old playing against other 13-year-olds when he moved back from Italy to the States.
Yeah.
And he said himself he was scrawny. There should have been no business of him on the basketball court. And there's this other 13-year-old who's naturally bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic. But in his mind, he knew that that player getting all the attention from the coach, because the coach is going to utilize him for the coach's benefit.
Yeah.
Because the coach wants to win.
Ooh, say that one more time.
The coach is going to use that tall player or that great player to their benefit, the coach's benefit. So that goes to tell you right there, the coach not really worried about the kid's development.
Yeah.
And this is Kobe Bryant at 13 thinking, okay, you're better at 13 now, but by 17, I can already assume that I'm going to be better than you because I'm going to work and I'm not getting the attention, I'm not getting the love from the coaches. I'm not winning the game.
Yep.
That right there, that message is one of the best messages you can ever listen to and just give to other people.
From one of the greatest to ever do it.
From the greatest ever. So when that coach, again, is just worried about his winning, right, his record, and you're not teaching this kid about work ethic and discipline and trying to inspire the kid to be great and to continue greatness, and you're just, hey, you're really tall, you're really good, let's go, an undefeated 7th grade season, so I can always have that picture framed.
And we can get that sweatshirt.
Yeah. But that right there, that is, like you said, you're just putting a label and you're already dictating what position.
Yeah.
Like Micah said.
Yeah.
What position they should be, and you're not giving them the freedom to try other things.
Mm-hmm.
And
and actually, I want to just think about this, right? Going back to the reasons that I started, right? I wanted the taller kids, not just the taller kids, but all the kids,
mm-hmm.
to have the opportunity to develop and have the opportunity to at least play in high school. But that's where I only thought as far as that when I first started, right? I just want to let you play in high school,
mm-hmm.
right? So reverse that, right? And imagine that somewhere there's a kid that did not get the opportunity such as that, and they were denied the opportunity to play at the next level. At this point, let's just say college. They were denied that opportunity because at 12 years old, they were told that they're going to play center.
And that's all they're going to do.
And that's all they're going to do. That's all we're going to teach you.
That's all we're going to teach you. And that's the thing, though. Like, I have a hard time, and this is my opinion, but I have a hard time with quote-unquote post coaches or post trainers. Like, hey, I'm going to teach you post moves.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you really look at it, what are post moves?
Guard moves down low.
It's all footwork based, right? So like how we're thinking about the 90 bad boys, Detroit Pistons of like body, physicality, like those type of post moves. No, we're not thinking about that.
Yeah.
We're thinking about footwork.
Yeah.
And it's not, you don't really have to be a post. You can label yourself that, but when you boil down to it, you're trying to give footwork.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really don't know any sets of footwork, what are you really teaching?
Yeah.
Right?
And I think to that point, I get that a lot as well, right? So I hear it all the time. Hey, my coach says I need to learn how to play the post. My coach says I need to learn how to, operate under the basket.
Yeah.
And, you and I talk about this all the time. Every set of footwork that you can do away from the basket is every set of footwork that you can do under the basket.
Exactly.
So, to your point, it's really just learning the footwork that everybody should be afforded the opportunity to.
Because once you learn it, you can do it anywhere on the floor.
Anywhere on the floor.
So I posted a video a while back on my Instagram @_Zach Leach. Karl Anthony Towns, who's quote unquote a center or a big man, he does a spin seal, which is a great set of footwork at the 3-point line. Then I post in the same video LeBron James, who's not a center. I mean, he could play the center.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have video of Dwayne Wade doing the same set of footwork in the low post.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you're a guard. And what happens when you're a guard and you get into the into the paint? Guess what you become? You become a post player.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when a post or a center comes out of the paint and into the 3-point line or on the arc, on the perimeter?
Mm-hmm.
They become a guard.
Yeah.
And if you have the skills and you have the set of footwork, you can dominate at any part of the floor.
100%.
It's, I don't want to say it's science, but
Nah.
I mean, it's science.
What do the kids say? Big facts.
Yeah, big facts. No printer. But going back to your point, what I love and kind of tying it all in is how I got here. So I wanted to inspire the short people who are always told they can't do something, right? So my playing days were over, but there was something that I was always told from my father, and there was always something that was inside of me that I felt like I had a gift to give, and I just didn't know how to go about it. But I always looked out for the underdogs because I was always an underdog, right? So now that people come in and usually are taller than me, when the players I train, I don't get the look anymore of like the first look of like, yo, this guy's really short. He's going to teach me how to play basketball? It's, man, like he knows what he's talking. It's not even the demonstrating, the knowledge that we gained over the years, the knowledge of talking to you and learning from Bryce Stanhope, Michael Lancaster, and just understanding and like locking myself into my room and studying. Like that's the inspiration that I love to give. Yeah. And I think it's even cooler when I can work out with, let's say, a Karl Anthony Towns or a player that is quote unquote a center or a post that is taller than me. Because I work out with, there's a lot of players that are super tall that I work out with Niles Lane at Florida, who's 6'7", and I'm 5'6". What do I have to offer? Yeah. Well, here's my knowledge. And going back to your point, you always, I'm not going to say always, but it sounded like you always look, there I go, I said always, but you looked at the taller kids that never really had a shot to experience other positions. Yeah. And I think that's why we gel, man. I honestly think.
I never thought of it that way, but I do.
But that was like my gear. You saying, about the taller kids. I am the shorter kids. Yeah. Now we can come together, and now we're knocking out both.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's insane. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Man, woo! I like that. There was one other thing that I wanted to get into. First of all.
What do you got over there?
I was not gonna leave this podcast. Man. Broad Street Donuts, a must-have, a must-visit. Be sure to check them out. I'm not getting paid for this. This is just me showing love.
That is love. If you guys come to Hoop Lab, Broad Street Donuts, it is probably 5 minutes up the road, and I'm telling you, if you're feeling a little naughty and you have a sweet tooth,
or it's your cheat day,
Today was my cheat day, and yo, what donut did we eat? I can't even fathom.
Donut? I had 2.
I only had 1. Yo, mine had cookie dough on it. What?
I had that one too. Mine had a Reese's on it too.
I didn't see that one in there. Yeah. I thought it was just Kit Kat. No. The other one was a Kit Kat.
The other one was a Kit Kat.
I didn't realize that was a Yo, I'm about to...
Listen, all right, well... Broad Street Donuts, go check that out. Check it out. All right, so one thing that I thought was real fun, you had an opportunity, because I had to bring it to you, right? I came to you a couple weeks ago, and I said, yo. Uh-oh. Man, I just went to... who was it?
I'm scared.
Who was it? All right, I don't remember what team it was. All right, but I said, yo, Zach, I just went to the NBA game in the Metaverse. I said, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. You got to try it out, right? So I brought it in.
Hold on. Wait. Talk about the video you sent me. Through text.
Well, I sent him a video and said, "Yo, check out these floor seats I got."
It looked like he recorded it off of YouTube with his 1999 camcorder.
It doesn't allow you to take videos, so I had to be creative.
I'm not gonna lie, it was.
Listen, so I brought it in. I went first, and in order to do this, you need to have the Oculus Quest, which I do have. Or my son has, and I might have borrowed it to go to the NBA game. So, from your living room, you put on this headset.
It's an eye set.
Eye set that goes over your head to whatever, right? So you put it on, and you enter the game. I don't know how they do it. I'm assuming there's some camera, whatever. So you are sitting courtside, or it flip-flops behind the backboard. So sometimes you're sitting behind the backboard, and then sometimes you're sitting courtside. This is the craziest thing. You can see everything that's going on as if you are sitting courtside.
Mm-hmm.
You are watching, and it's not, to paint a picture for everybody, you have to follow the ball.
Your head's constantly turning.
Yeah. I mean, you may look a little silly to everybody else that's watching you. I had it on that night. My wife was like, what do you keep turning your head for? It's like, I'm watching the ball. So,
I could contest to that, because as soon as you gave me it, I was like, what's it gonna look like? Like, is it gonna be anime? Like, I'm thinking about 2K. So how like the camera, you can change the camera angles, but when I put that headset or that headset, and when I tell you, I think we were watching the Warriors and Rockets.
Yep.
Bro, I'm literally courtside, and I can see Steph Curry, Klay Thompson,
Yep.
Jalen Green.
Yep.
And they look real.
Well, they are real, but
But but with a headset, with an eye set on,
yeah, man.
I was thinking it was gonna be anime.
No,
like,
this
that was
is
insane.
crazy. Okay, so here's me. I'm always 10 steps ahead. So I'm thinking,
More like 11, bro.
matter of fact, when I came in, I told Zach, yo, you think the NBA players get paid now? Wait until the collective bargain agreement ends in about 2 years, and now they're able to sell tickets, these virtual tickets, because you literally can sell, I don't know what, assuming the technology allows thousands of people.
Just think about in 2 years, they're gonna have a handle on that.
Yeah. So
Bro.
2,000 people, let's just say $50 a game to sit virtually with it really looking like you're courtside. They are going to make so much money that it's going to be ridiculous.
You're watching it in your living room.
In your living room.
We were watching it at Hoop Lab,
We were watching.
and I felt like we were at the game. I ordered some popcorn.
But the beautiful thing about it that I think is the only reason I'm sharing it with you guys is because I want you guys to understand where we're going in the future, right? When you go to these games in the metaverse or whatever, there's virtual avatars that are sitting there watching it with you.
Yeah.
So imagine going to a game with your Uncle Pete in Florida, and you guys go to the Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors basketball game, and you guys are just kicking it while you're sitting there in your living room.
Yeah.
It is amazing. If anybody has an Oculus, I would definitely recommend. I think for the rest of the games coming up, guess what days they're on? Monday nights.
Come to training first, and then we can watch it after.
Oh man, so yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I know Zach had an opportunity to check it out, and I didn't want to be the crazy one that gave my point of view, and he didn't give his point of view on how good that thing is and the potential of it.
I can contest to it. It was amazing. It literally felt like I never sat courtside at a game, but I sat courtside at a game. You know what I'm saying? Like it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
it was great. I love the technology. I love where it's going, and man, I just needed to share that because that was I was holding that in. I can't wait to the next one.
So anybody out there next Monday, $5. Y'all want to sit courtside? NBA's not charging, but we gonna be
$5 for 5 minutes.
Yeah. And if they go into overtime, that's on us. We'll let you watch overtime.
Yeah. We'll take care of that. Oh man, but listen, guys. I'm hoping that you guys got some value out of the conversations that we had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying our conversations thus far. I know we're only three episodes in, but we love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that I think people get to see a different side of us. They get to see the inside of not only our hoop brain, but just the person that we are, the persons that we are.
Our journey, our fun personality that, I think a lot of trainers are, I don't want to say afraid, but if you can have a personality where you can flip a switch,
Mm-hmm.
where you can be serious, you can, during that session or during, whatever you're doing, and you can have fun with it, because that's what we talked about earlier, is having fun. And you can still find a balance in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make it more enjoyable, not only for you, for
Yeah.
the parents, but the players.
Yeah.
And, hopefully, we can start, like we said earlier in the show, we can start changing the way we act, the way we talk, our antics, our body language, because you never know who's watching. And definitely if it's kids, they're going to absorb it.
100%.
So let's teach, let's learn, let's ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
but let's not freak out over
100%.
little stuff.
There's one last thing that I wanted to leave everybody with, and it was just a realization that I came across a little bit earlier in the day. And especially I think it ties into this episode just based on, what we're, how we act and how we, go about representing and being a good example. But also into some of the previous episodes where we talked about, they're not going to be LeBron overnight.
Right.
They're not going to be Breanna Stewart in 2 weeks. We have to, and I think this is even broader, I think it might be a life thing. We have to start living in the now. Live in the now. From a parent perspective, if there's one piece of advice that I can give to every single parent that comes in, or every single parent that's listening, or even every player that comes in and listens, the dream that you have, whether it be going to college, whether it be going to the NBA, the final destination is not the dream.
Mm-mm.
The end result is not the dream. You're living the dream right now.
Yeah.
Every day that you wake up and you get to do whatever it is that you're doing, that is the dream. The journey is the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Kobe talk about that before. It's not, I know we all want to get to the end result and we want instant results. That's not the dream. We mistake that for the dream, but the dream is the journey that we travel.
Yeah.
Every little piece that goes into that.
Whether it's the mistakes, whether it's the success.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. So one thing that I want everybody to do, start living for the now, understand that the journey is the dream, and enjoy every moment of it. Before you know it, it won't be there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You'll look back and you'll say, wow, that time flew. I wish I could do it again. How did it go by so fast? Yeah. And this is, again, I know I say it all the time. This is coming from, I lived it. I've done it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for my kids. I've watched other kids. I've helped them as a trainer. I've helped them go on their journey. it goes by fast. And if we constantly are looking at every single piece, wishing it would hurry up and come, wishing that they hurry up and got it, wishing that the end result was guaranteed, we're missing everything in between that. And we're missing, it's like walking through a garden and not really appreciating the flowers that are there.
Yeah.
Right? So that is my advice to everybody.
I love that.
Enjoy it. Soak it up while it's here. Every little AAU tournament where you get to spend time with your kids, other families, other parents. Before you know it, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us won't get to do it again because our kids are old. All right, so.
Yeah, man. That's great.
Man, I love it. I don't even know how long we went, but I think we went for a pretty decent time. Hey. Hopefully you made it all the way to the end.
There was a lot of good stuff. If you didn't,
it is.
Hey,
it is.
Leave a bookmark and start it again tomorrow.
Yeah,
and enjoy it.
Yeah, run up the YouTube views, run up the Apple Podcast views, run up the Spotify views.
Yep.
I guess they wouldn't be views. I guess they would be listens. But run them up. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here. We're giving you good information. That's what we want to do.
That's what we do. That was the stewardess. Man.
Yo, man, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Zach
Leach, TakeFlight.
Out.
Later.
Oh, my God.